What's up, guys? Welcome back to What the Horror. This is episode 2. I am Jeremy, and this is Justin.
What's up, guys? Before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to Terror Manor once again. Terror Manor is located in Roanoke, Virginia, right outside of downtown Roanoke. They're open every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday till November 2nd. Every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And today we're going to have some guests on here from Star City Paranormal. I'd like to welcome you guys to the podcast today. Basically, we're just going to give a rundown of asking questions about past investigations and personal experiences and basically all that.
Yeah, so who we have here is we've got Chad Talley, who's one of their lead investigators, correct?
Correct.
We have Rob Winfield, who basically owns it. We're not sure what he does.
He walks around in the dark scaring people.
Well, somebody's got to.
Then we got good old John Songer here. John, you've actually been with Star City for a while, but you're actually starting on your own journey a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah, I decided after working with the team for from the get-go, after I left, I'm like, that was about time for me to go and get my own group started. So we're working on getting a few things going here. Mainly just getting the team logo, team shirts, and all that, and start working on a few investigations for next year.
Okay, awesome.
You have anything to say?
So basically, I kind of want to just ask you guys, what got you interested in the paranormal to begin with? I mean, Chad, do you want to start?
I can start, that's fine. So what got me into it when I was about 7, sitting in my room watching TV, and all my drawers on the chest of drawers started pulling out one by one. And I went down to my mom, obviously freaked out, and she didn't try and put it off. She said, they're all around you all the time, and she helped me find books and stuff and research it.
Right.
And then from there, when I got older, I knew what it's like to first experience stuff, so I wanted to start helping people and investigate it further.
That's awesome that you actually had somebody that was supporting it instead of just saying it was just nothing.
Right.
So, what about you, Rob?
Well, mine's not as entertaining as Chad's. Mine's quite boring. I like haunted houses. I love them. Never been to a bad one in my life. I ended up going to another local haunt that's been in business for quite some time. There was a group there that had a booth set up, and I had some leftover cash, and they were raffling off. The grand prize was a ghost investigation at St. Albans Sanatorium up in Radford. I took the leftover, I think it was like $5 or $6, and I said, you know what? I was like, give me 2 tickets. And the guy gave me 2 tickets, and I think I maybe had $1 or something. I was like, I just keep it. I was like, here, consider it my tip, because I figured that, you know, I'd win, and I had that really weird feeling that I would win, and guess what? I won. I even called the ticket that I had, and no, it wasn't rigged. And I went up there, and I'd never done ghost hunting, never watched TV shows, never done nothing with that. And I fell in love with it, and went and made a horrible mistake and bought a bunch of equipment, and have been hooked ever since. And then we right now I think we've got 9 team members. We try to keep 10 on the roster. I think we got 9, maybe 8. But we've kind of taken a slow, going this year because of the haunt down at Terror Manor. Trying to get everything going. November, we're going to hit the ground running again. We're going to try to at least go to somewhere in November, and then take a break and come back and hit it hard in probably March when it starts warming up, but not too warm, because I hate spiders and I will scream like a girl and shatter glass. So that's kind of the quick rundown. We got me started into it.
Okay.
Awesome.
What about you, John?
What got me into it was I worked over at St. Albans as a volunteer. That was where I met Jason Evans, and he told me he was a ghost hunter, so I'm like, all right, this dude's pretty dang cool. Because I've always watched shows and all that, and been real curious about what the whole thing was about. So I went with him one time and I was hooked.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I guess the one thing that I would have to ask you guys, I mean, granted, you guys have been doing this a while, it seems like. What was probably the most insane location that you've been to?
For me, I mean, I've been to a lot of places down in Florida, but we came up here and St. Albans was the first huge location that I did. Because down in Florida, we did most of the residential stuff, and I had some pretty crazy things. But St. Albans is pretty consistently active every time that we go. So that's one of the craziest places, and some of my crazier experiences are at St. Albans.
Okay. Awesome. So, what kind of experience did you have at St. Albans?
Well, the last time we were there for 2 days, we took a bathroom break at one point, and they ditched me. They went down and do whatever. So I go to their IT room to see where they're at, so I can go meet up with them. And I see somebody walk past one of the doorways that's right by where we are. So I figure, okay, they're over there. So I go over there to try and meet them, and there's nobody there. And then they finally text me, and they're over by the grand staircase, which is on the opposite side of that particular part of the building. So I go meet them over there. So I just saw somebody walk past the camera that wasn't there. And then the following day, we came back, and we came upstairs to the attic. And I rounded the corner, and in the walls, they have parts that are ripped out. You can see the beams on the inside.
Yeah.
And I saw what looked like a gnarled female face looking at me from the inside of the wall. And I'm big on pareidolia, and I'm the skeptic of the group.
Mm-hmm.
I will try and find a natural cause and try and debunk everything that I can.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find a cause for it.
Of course, and I think for me, that's like the best way to go into it is always try to debunk it and be a skeptic about it.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Rob? What was probably the most insane location that you've been to?
That's a tough question. Because we're not like some paranormal groups that just try to stay local. We do travel states over and go around. But I don't want to say probably, the most scariest, but the most entertaining place that I enjoyed, everybody knows, is Old South, Pittsburgh. I talk about the place a lot. It's got its ups and downs. It was shut down. Now I believe it's back open under new management. We haven't made it down there in a while, so maybe now that they've got it going on, we can venture down there. It's a great location. I'm sure many people have heard of it. But the craziest thing that happened there. That was basically we first got there. Me and another team member were walking in. The other guys and girls were outside, and they were unloading some of the equipment out of the vehicles. And I wanted to check the place out because some of the team members had been there previously, and they just wanted to give me a rundown of the location. And we're going down the hall, and so everybody's been in a hospital, right, at one time. So everybody knows you walk in, you got that nurse's station kind of like at the center of any floor, and you can kind of go left, right, front, back, all that good stuff. It's kind of like a big old T. Mm-hmm. Well, we're approaching that, me and this other team member, and we're jabbering back and forth, and they were telling me about the place, and we hear doors, like everybody's went in the stairway, and you open a door, so then other doors get that boom boom. Mm-hmm. So I heard that, and the person with me was like, "Did you hear that?" And of course I did. And I was like, it's the pressure from the doors in that stairwell, because Old South is basically a 3-story building. You got the ground floor, you got one up, which was a children's ward, and then you got the basement, which is kind of like all these other different rooms, from cafeterias to rooms to whatnot. So I thought it was something down there with the pressure. So we round the corner and start going down the one hall, and then we hear like, coming like right up on us down the hallway, because everybody knows what feet running down the hallway sounds like. I turn around, I'm like, it's one of the guys or girls. They're just trying to joke with us or mess with us. And there was nothing there. But I will say this: it was entertaining in the fact that I've never seen someone be able to hurdle a nurse's station desk that quick and that fast. Because the person was with me. Ran, jumped, and hurdled, and then I was like, "What's going on?" So we always have fun, and you know, I've never, just like haunted houses, I've never went to a bad location. Now I have went to locations and for better words, bitched, but not obviously to the owner. Like, but it's just like anything. If you like ghost hunting, you can go somewhere, and you know, you may not get nothing. You could go another night, and it's just blowing up. So
Yeah.
but I would definitely say Old South. Definitely by far my favorite.
Awesome. What about you, John? What kind of location have you had the most activity at, and what was your favorite?
I've been to several, like Rob said, like Old South Pittsburgh was one of the big ones that really stood out to me, just with the fact that it's an old hospital. A lot of times, like the hospitals, prisons, and the insane asylums will have all sorts of energy in there, good or bad. I feel like St. Albans was probably the biggest location that really just opened me up to the whole paranormal world. I've been up there working, set up the haunted house and stuff, and have heard stuff around. I've gone out to check to see if it's one of the volunteers or someone upstairs walking around, and after I went out and checked, it's like, there's no one here, so there's definitely something going on. But I also feel the craziest experience I've had was over in Parisburg, Virginia. When I went to the Paris Theater, I was down in the basement over there, and I walked right by this one shelf over there where they had a saw and stuff, and I watched it fall off the shelf, and I'm looking over there like, okay, what the hell just happened? Like, what did I walk into? And it definitely got blood flowing for sure, because I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
who's in here or what's in here? But it is definitely an experience for sure.
That's awesome, man. I guess. Do you have any other questions that you had thought about, Jeremy?
Is there anywhere that you want to conduct an investigation at, or maybe want to return to?
I mean, there's a ton that I want to go to. Like, I'd like to take a trip, like a week-long trip, just down to like New Orleans, and just spend a week investigating down there.
Right, definitely.
Or living in Florida, I'd like to get into the launch areas for NASA. The
Right.
Kennedy Space Center.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that never gonna happen. But I'd like to get down there. I tried when I was down there. Everything looked. I even know people that work there. I still can't get in.
Let's
Yeah.
say.
What about you, John? Is there anywhere you think that you'd like to investigate that you haven't before?
Well, I have been to Trans-Allegheny just for a daytime paranormal tour, and I was getting stuff during the day, so I'd love to return back over there for a full-on private investigation, just see what the place is like. I stumbled upon it heading over to Moundsville, West Virginia, to investigate the prison up there, and I happened to see the signs on the road for old asylum tours, so I'm like, all right, I'm going to check that out. So I pull up and just see the location. I'm like, oh my God, like, huge place. And I could feel the energy just from the parking lot. So I went in, walked around, and I was hearing stuff walking, got a lot of EMF ratings. And the investigator for my group that went with me, she actually heard a cough in one of the rooms. And when I was walking through the same floor, I felt burning on my back and had a good sized scratch.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm like, all right, I got to get back over here and see what I get at night.
Yeah, and definitely with that, I mean, things like that you really want to be careful of. I mean, those seem to be very intense things. But what about you, Rob? What is one location that you'd really like to investigate or return to, and see what else you can find?
Well, unlike them, I'm a little darker and a little weird. I tend to not like, I mean, I guess it's murder, but I tend to not like battleground areas for many different reasons. Spiders and bugs. I hate spiders. But you get a lot of crickets and noise and stuff like that, and I'm not into investigating the fields and the graveyards and that kind of thing. so being on the darker side, I tend to like insane asylums and murder homes, I guess you could call them. Sorry about the phone ringing. And it's gonna keep ringing. It would probably be Catawba Hospital, which is in the mountains of Roanoke County. It is basically it's a mentally insane asylum. I don't want to say maybe I shouldn't say insane, but there's the less fortunate are there. And there has been nothing but, I don't want to say, it's not mistreating people, but it's been a lot of violent things occur there. There has been many accidents / murders there from other patients. So it is a pretty rough home. But it's something that's, I believe it's government funded. I could be wrong, but I think it is. That is my dream location. The crazy part is because it's here, and I'm sure there's many other places like that across the U.S. I just don't know of them because people tend to not advertise them, because obviously you'd have people like me showing up at your doorstep and going, "Hey, let me in. Want to give a donation?" There is, and then I don't know, but there's many others out there, but that one definitely would be
Something that really stands out to you.
Yeah. And it's close to home too, so I'd like to check that out. So.
I don't live too far from it at all. I've seen the signs for it and read the sign on the side of the road, 311. Mm-hmm. So I've really wanted to go up there and kind of see the place and learn more about it.
Yeah.
Especially with it being so close to where I live at.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, and I actually lived at the foot of the mountain there for 13 years, and gosh, I've heard so many stories of everything that's going on there. And heck, we used to drive through there at night and it sounds dumb, to look at deer and stuff when we were bored. And that's an eerie place at night.
Never thought about trying to break into there? Or?
No. Definitely not.
Well, yeah. I guess a question I would have, is totally off topic from what we've been talking about, but with you guys being paranormal investigators, have you worked closely with any other, not saying that you guys aren't a big name, but any well-known investigating teams at all? Or have you met them, should I say?
I mean, we've met a few, like EnigmaCon. We've met things like Wraith Chasers, some of the people that were on Ghost Hunters, but we've never really worked hand in hand with them. At least not when I've been up here.
Gotcha. Have you guys ever met anybody like that?
I know me.
Well-known investigators, in a sense.
Not so much, other than the Wraith Chasers, and I think they go by another name now. They're a good group of guys. Met them up at St. Albans a couple times when we were invited up. They were doing investigations, and they asked us to come up and help basically run with them as far as the groups with St. Albans Volunteers, which was really cool. Great guys and girls up there as well that help keep that building going. Other than that, that's it. Star City, since it's been going, we've been hit up, I think, by 2 now production companies as far as doing episodes and shows. The most recent one was Glass Productions out of Pennsylvania. We talked to them this year about doing some episodes. It's just the stars have to align for us to do that, and unfortunately, with what they were wanting out of us, not money, of course, but just the time of haunt season going on, I could not make the commitment, so therefore we as a team didn't make the commitment. And that's not saying that we won't do something down the road, but it's just, like I said, the stars weren't aligned for us. And
it wasn't the right time.
Nope. Because when we commit to something, we want to be 100%, not, for better words, half-assing it. So,
Definitely. What about you, John? Have you ever met anybody?
I've talked to a few investigators that have been around for quite a while. I've actually messaged a few of the guys from the Tennessee Wraith Chasers on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Real cool guys. I'm Mike, one of the newest guys on the team. Real down-to-earth guy. I've talked to him numerous times on Facebook, and I would like to just investigate with those guys and see how they do stuff, and try to compare like how I conduct my investigations.
Yeah.
I'm just mainly just work with some of the local teams and some teams out of state, just kind of help out a little bit and just keep that camaraderie going of investigators.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I can't remember if you mentioned this before, but what's your paranormal team you're starting, John?
Blacksburg Paranormal Society.
Okay. How long has it been around? You just started this year?
I added a team member last year. Well, actually, the beginning of this year. She's been into the paranormal because I worked with her over at St. Albans as a not St. Albans, Gallows as a volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
So when I found out she was into the paranormal, when I got contacted by Lost Souls Paranormal out of Pennsylvania to do Moundsville, I messaged her. I'm like, hey, do you want to go? And she's like, yeah, sure. So I took her to see how she does as a investigator, and she done a really good job. So I'm like, all right, cool. You're on the team.
Awesome.
So I know that you guys do like a lot of well-known places and stuff, but y'all get a lot of calls from maybe like just some houses, like people who have experiences in their houses much?
Yeah, we'll get calls and messages about residential places, but we typically don't do residential, really.
Right, because most of the time it's probably nothing, I would say.
For me, yeah, that's what I believe. It's either pareidolia, it's in your head, it could be anything.
Right, and a lot of people.
Yeah,
I
it
would
seems
say
like
get that.
seems like Rob would only do that if there was somebody murdered in there. Is that right?
Correct. We've had some doozies, and it's weird. It's almost like they talk to each other, because what'll happen is, and how people will contact us is they will shoot the email. You can go to the website or the Facebook page, and they'll shoot us an email. And it's almost like they're talking to each other, because you don't get no emails, and then all of a sudden you'll be like 3 or 4 days or a week goes by, and then it's like, yeah, email, and it just keeps coming through. And some of them probably are legit, but we kind of we interview them just like you would anything, because the last thing you want to do is go into somebody's house, and next thing you know, they pull out a gun or something else, and we become the murder victims. But we've had some doozies. Like, I think one of the funniest ones, and this is sad and it's misfortunate, but it was just kind of took me back as like, oh, okay, wow, that's awesome. Is the individual basically said every time they did meth, they seen things. And they wanted us to come check it out. So I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, my first thought here is just stop doing drugs and problem solved, no more ghosts. And they didn't like that too much. So yeah, it's one of those things. And I would like to really believe that was a joke and just somebody that I knew messing with me. So I just kind of left it alone, laughed it off, and shared it with a select few. Other than that, that was it. That was pretty much it. So yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, typically we can solve whatever they think they have happening just by talking to them over email and stuff. Like, I had a guy email me freaking out, said, oh, I have this video, all these orbs are in here, my wife's terrified, we're going to move. And I go, okay, where is this camera placed? It's facing the garage, right below the air duct. Okay, whenever you open that door, the footage that you sent me is you opening the door and dust flying all in front of your camera. Like, when your AC kicks on, it's going to be dust. When you open the door, it's dust. That's all it is. You don't have to worry about any of that.
Right.
It's nothing paranormal.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Sorry. I guess another question I would have would be, are you guys planning any more public investigations? I know you guys do the public investigations some. Do you have any more of those planned for the coming months or possibly next year, I'm assuming?
I mean, we have some things in the works. I don't know, Rob, I don't know if we want to talk about that yet.
It's fine.
Okay. So, as you know, we are associated with Terror Manor, and we have had things happen here. I've personally had things happen here. I've had speakers kick on as I'm walking down the hallway, and then they'll just kick off randomly. one of our other investigators, he was in the restroom in the back and heard somebody run up on the door. He opened it, nobody was there. You've seen a full body apparition here.
Yeah.
So we are in the works of setting up public investigations here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The only thing that I've heard here is giggles and some whispers, and of course, me being me, I giggled back and whispered back, and then never heard it. And then doing the investigations here, that is something that we're looking at doing. We definitely have the facilities. We're fortunate enough to have the equipment. Something else that we've started is basically, I don't want to say a storage locker, but a haunted objects room. You can see that at Terror Manor when you're in line on the inside. We like to think it's pretty cool because it's on display. If you're not into it and maybe you wanted to get into it and you wanted to see what some of the equipment looked like, or you're a fan of TV shows and you see some of the stuff they're using, a lot of people think it's pretty cool to be able, while they're standing in line, to look at the different tools of the trade that we use, as well as we've got some haunted objects in there, and we've also got a story that's lined up there, so it kind of tells you about the item that is in the room. It plays on a TV while you're standing there watching and looking. So fingers crossed, something will wave back at you as you're staring at it, or throw something against the glass of the wall. But yeah, I mean, it's good stuff all around. Definitely should check it out.
So I guess a question I would have for that is, do you guys, is it still in the works, or do you guys have kind of like a roundabout start date when those things would start?
As in the classes?
Yeah.
Haunt season is rough. It's a lot of bumps and bruises and fixing and everything, as everybody knows in the business. So with that being said, I know we want to take next month off from the haunt and put it into Star City, and actually for us to do some sort of investigation. December is Christmas. January we have the next upcoming haunt going on, which will be our Valentine's haunt at Terror Manor, which will be in February. So I would foresee it to not happen until around March, just for the fact of Star City's life, holidays with the families, and then of course Valentine's haunt season as well. So yeah, I would feel comfortable saying March.
Okay, yeah, just I guess kind of get a roundabout of when people can start to kind of watch for it and stuff like that. You have anything else you'd like to ask, Jeremy?
Well, we had you guys on the podcast. Can we join y'all for maybe one investigation?
Yeah, we're down for that. We've taken other people, and when we take other people, we're not paid advocates of St. Albans up in Radford, but us just being local yokels to here in the area, it is one of the most active locations around. We've been there and not got anything. We've been there and it been off the walls. We've lived there. We've stayed overnight there for a couple nights, and had stuff go crazy and then had nothing. So it's one of those things. But it'd be a great place to take you guys if you really wanted to take the journey, because it's a great location. It's a great group of guys and girls up there running that place. They need all the support they can as far as funding to help get that building back to what it needs to be, to what their vision is. Definitely would love to take you up there if you're brave enough to hold my hand in the dark.
Justin's always down to hold your hand, Rob.
I have heard stories there, Rob, that you're kind of the jokester of the group. You like to kind of mess with everybody on investigations.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed prank war champion.
Yeah, I am prank war champion. But my problem is I get bored, and we respect when we're investigating places. The guys and girls that's on the group, we can read each other pretty good. If it's going, like I said, you can go places and not be getting anything. You got to get entertained, guys, because it just like anything, if you don't have fun in it, you're going to lose your luster in it. I don't care what you're doing in life, but it's really cool and fun. You're in those locations, so why not have some fun? St. Albans, I do like to walk around in the dark no matter where I go, but St. Albans, I know that place like the back of my hand. so I walk around in the dark a lot of times, and I actually Star City has everybody wears those not glow bracelets, but everybody wears those little rubber bracelets. I don't know the right word for them, but people like cancer awareness wear. But Star City is fortunate enough we have those, and we sell them / give them away to people at times. We actually had glow ones. One of the other team members had some glow ones made because it helped identify me in the dark. So you see a little glowing ball coming. It's not a glowing orb or ghost coming at you. It's probably Rob. But we have fun, and they have fun with it. And yeah, I mean, it's good times up there. It's never a dull moment.
So how did I guess we'll take this interview in a different way. What is probably one of the pranks that Rob's pulled on you, Chad?
I don't think he's gotten me too bad. It's mostly just hiding in the dark, and when you walk past him, he jumps out.
Oh, okay. So the typical jump scare.
Chad does enjoy tea.
Oh, that prank, yeah. See,
Chad,
that one was a long-lived prank. We didn't find out about, and he kept it to himself for a good couple of months until we were going to talk about it on one of these other things.
can't be a prank war champion and not hold it in.
That's awesome. What about you, John? I'm sure Rob's gotten you multiple times.
A lot of it is just Rob messing with me, like either all the way to a location or at the location, trying to freak me out and all that. But I really can't think of any big pranks he's pulled, because I probably just shot myself in the foot, and he's going to give me something before the season's over with over here at Terror Manor.
Yeah. That just means you guys will have to get him back.
It's kind of hard to get the prank war champ back. You got to do something good.
Yeah. Well, guys, pretty much that's about it that we had for this podcast. Jeremy, you want to send us out?
I mean, do y'all have anything else that y'all want to say? I mean,
I don't think we really have anything in the plug other than Terror Manor.
Yeah, just that, and give us a shout on Facebook. We're Star City Paranormal. I believe it's VA on there. Yep, Star City Paranormal.
We'll put it in the description.
Okay. All right.
What's the YouTube thing? Be sure to like, subscribe, and smash that ring the bell icon.
Yeah. That's what all those typical YouTubers post.
Yeah.
yeah, but definitely y'all guys check out Terror Manor as well as Star City Paranormal, and I want to thank you guys definitely for joining us today on here. And
No problem. Awesome.
Yeah, well, we'll have next episode coming soon, and we'll go from there. But yeah, you guys have been listening to What the Horror Podcast. I'm Justin,
this is Jeremy.
and we'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, guys.